So am I looking pretty tired? So we're recovering from the birth of our son, and I wanted to make a video about our experiences with the labor and delivery at Kaiser Permanente Hawaii. So I thought it'd be kind of nice to have some perspective on our experiences and kind of what to expect. I'm also going to throw in some bonus dad tips, things that I wish I had known before this whole process started. Let me open by saying that I really liked the experience at Kaiser. As a first-time dad, they made me feel very comfortable and just very relaxed in a pretty stressful situation. At Kaiser, the delivery is at the Moanalua Clinic, which is a really good location because it's sort of central to where most people live. And for us, it was about a 15-minute drive. But this whole process starts with the hospital visits that go on for months, and as the due date gets closer and closer, the appointments get closer and closer. And we decided to see a certified midwife rather than a physician because it was recommended that because the certified midwives are more involved in the process, it would be somewhat of a better experience. And I'm glad that we did, and I'm glad that we picked the one that we did. She answered all of our questions and was very friendly and always made sure to keep up with how my wife was doing and how the baby was doing. So dad tip number 1. We also took a labor class that Kaiser offered, and I would highly recommend it, especially for first-time parents, because they kind of go through the process of kind of what to expect with the labor and delivery. Go to that class, and it's going to be kind of overwhelming because there's so much information, and depending on when you take the class, there could be a lot of time between the class and the delivery. So you're probably not going to remember all of the information, but that's okay. Just keep the handouts and just try to remember what you can. What I really liked about the class was at the end of the class, the last session, we took a tour of the Moanalua Clinic. We were able to walk around, go to some of the rooms, and just kind of get familiar with where we were going. And as for the delivery day, of course, we checked in at 1:30 a.m. We were very tired. Tip number 2 is you should program the Kaiser delivery unit phone number onto your phone before, because you never know when you're gonna have to make that call. You don't wanna be scrambling at 1 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out what that number was. Just have it in your phone, ready to go. Call them if you have any questions leading up to labor and delivery, as well as you're gonna have to call before you actually go in. So that number is really important to have. When we arrived at the hospital, the staff helped us get checked in and settled into our delivery room, which was different from the recovery room. And the delivery room was pretty nice. It was very spacious, had its own bathroom, as well as a little pull-out bed for me. Dad tip number 3, leave the bags in the car, but bring a jacket because it's pretty cold in those rooms. I wasn't sure exactly how the drop-off would go, whether I'd bring all our stuff or wait till later. And the nurses recommended that we just park the car, we just go in, and then I grab the bags later, which I didn't really like at first, but actually looking back, it was much easier because then when I grabbed all our bags, I didn't have to bring them to the delivery room and then from there, bring them to the recovery room. I could just bring them straight to the recovery room. I really appreciate all of the nurses and staff and aides who were there to help us. Before this experience, I really didn't know what nurses or aides actually did, because when I go to the hospital, all they do is they check me in, they weigh me, they take my blood pressure, ask how I'm doing, and then they lead me to my examination room. But this type of nurse, these nurses, were highly involved and they were very professional and friendly. And also all the nurses were really good. There wasn't like a good nurse and like a bad nurse. Like they were very good across the board, and I like that consistency. So when they made the shift changes, it wasn't like it was a big change. The person was still great and professional. So after delivery, we were taken to the recovery room, which is where the mom and the baby will get to bond and spend time together. And of course, as me as the dad, I brought all the stuff into that room. There's a bathroom with a shower, as well as a little pull-out bed. And that pull-out bed is actually perfect for me because I'm not that tall. But if you're kind of tall, it may be a little challenging to fit in it. Dad tip number 4, bring some snacks. And maybe you're not thinking, oh, I don't need to bring snacks. I'm just gonna go to the vending machine or the cafeteria. But I'm glad that I brought snacks because mom gets to eat for free and they serve her the food to the room. But as dad, you pretty much have to go get your food and just eat on your own. The cafeteria food is actually not that bad, but after a while, sometimes maybe you don't want to eat that all the time, and I'm glad that I brought some snacks just for me. We ended up staying at Kaiser for 3 full days and 2 part days, so it's a total of 5 days. And This part was confusing because when they described it, they said, oh yeah, you can stay for like 3 days. I was just thinking, okay, so that means really 1 full day with 2 half days. But they actually do mean 3 full days, and then you get the 2 half days. Again, it depends on your situation, but for us, that's what we had. Dad tip number 5, pack more than you think you're gonna need, because you never know how long you're gonna be in the hospital. I'm glad that I didn't pack for 3 literal days, because then I would have run out of clothes after 3 days, have to either go home or just wear old clothes. Also, you may want to pack a hoodie, not just to keep yourself warm, but I used my hoodie and I used it and I pulled it over my head, because there's times where you wanted to sleep during the middle of the day, people are coming in, the lights are on, and I was able to pull the hoodie over my face, so at least it was dark and I could get some sleep. Granted, it wasn't much sleep. And if you made it this far in the video, just want to say thank you. And I want to talk about what I think was the best part about having a child, having a baby at Kaiser. So at Kaiser, just know that there is no baby nursery where all the babies are behind the glass and you can point and look. You're gonna be with the baby the entire time. And that's a Kaiser philosophy call. They really want the mom and the baby to bond, and so they put them together in the room and they spend pretty much all the time that they're gonna spend at the hospital together. Now looking back at this, I can honestly say that I didn't like it at first all the time, because I was exhausted. I really could have used maybe 12 hours just to sleep and to recover. But now that we've gone through this process, I do like their philosophy. It's hard, but I appreciate it, and I'm glad that they do it this way. Because at the end of the day, it really brought us closer as a family. And at Kaiser, there really didn't seem like there's a lot of hand holding. They just show you and you just do it. And they want you to learn fast, and I think that's a great thing. Because one of the best ways to learn anything is to get in there, do it a lot, to fail, make mistakes, and then try again. So while I didn't really like this so much as I was experiencing it, because I'm so tired and stressed out, I realized that Kaiser is trying to prepare us to be parents when we get home, to equip us so that when the nurses aren't there and we can't on-call them with the little button, that we can actually take care of our own son. By the time we left the hospital, I felt a lot more comfortable and confident in being able to take care of our son with all the things that we might need to do. Of course, the staff would always show us what to do, but then they would let us go and do it again and again and again, because that's the only way that we could have learned. And by leaving the baby in the room with us all the time, it kind of simulated what our life would be like here, where we're all, this is it. We don't have any staff on call, it's just us. And this is what I appreciate the most. It's kind of like when my parents sent me off to college. I went by myself to Colorado, didn't know anyone, and I just figured it out. I struggled a lot, but I also overcame a lot of obstacles, and I was pushed to my limits in how to take care of myself. Of course, they were always there in case I failed or I needed some comfort, but they really let me grow up on my own, and I appreciate that. And in a way, the hospital let us grow as parents, especially in the beginning where we knew absolutely nothing. And that, I think, will help us as we continue to become parents. They really allowed me to make mistakes and to learn from my mistakes to hopefully get better in the future. Dad tip number 6, get in there and learn fast. You're gonna learn swaddling, you're gonna learn diaper changes, you're gonna learn a whole bunch of things that you never knew before. And instead of being scared or nervous like I was, I would say just get in there and do it. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to not, tie it as tight as they do, because they're professionals and this is like the 3rd time you've ever done it. You just got to get in there and do it, and they'll correct you and they'll make it better and then improve over time. Also, make sure that you are marking and tracking when the diaper changes are happening, because the staff actually keeps track of that to see the progress of the baby. And one of the best things that I did was I wore a watch all the time, because it helped me keep track of the time, because when you're tired and things are happening, it's just nice to look down at your wrist and you know exactly what the time is. And for checkout on our last day, the nurses were very nice, very friendly. I'm really glad that they allowed us to take our time to pack our things and kind of get out of the hospital. The last nurse who talked with us, she kind of went over the car seat, which I'm really glad that she did, because we have the car seat, but we had never put a baby in it before. So she watched us kind of figure out how to do it, and then she made sure that we did it safely and securely, so when we took a ride home it wasn't like really stressful. They had a little cart that helped me take the luggage and all our stuff back. And by the way, you're going to bring some stuff back home from the hospital, so make sure you bring extra bags or extra room. After everything was packed in the car, I drove up to the curb and my wife came out with the baby in the wheelchair just like they typically do, and that was our experience. So overall, I really liked our experience at Kaiser. I didn't know what to expect because I only am a patient there, but I really liked how they treated us. I know that they see hundreds, thousands of babies born, right? And yet they made us feel like ours was very special and it was the most important thing. And of course, you know, there's tons of moms everywhere, but just that level of care, I was totally shocked by how great it was. They work very hard and they're very knowledgeable, and they really helped me, I can speak for myself, build up confidence, because as a new dad, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to expect. But they built confidence in me, and over time that helped translate to when we're now transitioning here to our place, being able to take care of him and make sure that I know what I'm doing. So I just want to say thank you to Kaiser and all their staff, all the people who helped us, because it was really stressful and they made it very easy. So thanks for watching, and aloha.